Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We're talking Friday, August 8th. Happy Friday, everybody. The Dong Report is back in your life. I'm going to have 8 total players on Dong Watch for today's Dong Report. Of course, going to give you my 3 favorites at the beginning of the video for those of you that just want to take the favorites. For those of you that want to do what I am doing and spray the board, of course, you're going to have all 8 as well, regardless. Would appreciate it if you could watch the entire video, since that does help me out a ton. Before we get into today's picks, we do have to do a recap from yesterday, which sucked, no doubt about it. Did not get any of my 5 players to hit a home run. Colson Montgomery didn't have a really good day at the plate. He got intentionally walked in the 10th inning. I'm going to go to my grave that he was obviously going to hit a home run in that at-bat, which is why they walked him. I really liked the 2 Mariners guys, Cal Raleigh and Josh Naylor. Naylor had a couple at-bats, and then he left with a shoulder injury. And then Raleigh, I really liked him. Didn't do anything. Augustin, Shea Bangaliers, none of them came through. So we were down 0.75 units yesterday. You know, I played it a little bit heavier in terms of unit sizing because I did like the plays. I'm not going to sit here and pretend after the fact, oh, I didn't even like them, because that's not the case. So down 0.75 units on the entire year. We're still up a little bit over 3 units on the year. We're still up 2.5% ROI, something like that. Still pleased with the results when you consider the totality of the season. But obviously, any day in which you don't get donged sucks. Hopefully, we can turn it around today. It's not the best dong slate in the world. The best home run game is this game, the Mets Brewers. I actually don't have a play in this one. And then the Dodgers game is good. I have a couple plays there. The White Sox game is good. I'll have a play there. And then some average ones. I have a couple plays here. I have a play in this, the retractable roof at Chase Field. I have a play there. Same thing with the Rangers Stadium as well. So in terms of Weather Edge, just to kind of give you guys the entirety of everything, mostly agreement. Like, they don't love any of the games. They slightly like the Orioles one. They don't love the Tigers one. The Braves neutral. The White Sox they like, so there is some agreement there. Twins, mostly because of the 90-degree temperature. They do like, but all in all, it's not the best dong slate in the world. There are some good matchups to target, which is why I ended up going with 8 players on Dong Watch. And let's get right into it. So play number 1 is Max Muncy. He is also play number 1 of my 3 favorites. I'm also taking Freddie Freeman as well. So I'm taking both of these Dodgers players, but if you just want to take one, it would be Max Muncy. The biggest thing here is Max Scherzer is pitching for the Blue Jays, who, I mean, Hall of Fame level career, really good pitcher. Has not pitched that well this year and has really struggled against lefties. Now, looking at him on the entire year, home run basically every 17 at-bats. That's bad. Looking into his advanced stats is not terrible. The K rate is actually pretty high for somebody that's like 100 years old, but the home run per 9 is pretty high. The ISO rate is pretty high. Barrel rate is average. Hard hit rate is actually relatively low, but the line drive plus fly ball rate is pretty high. But then you look at him against lefties, and it's much worse. Home run every 14 at-bats, with most numbers worse across the board. The K rate goes down. ISO rate goes up. Barrel rate goes up. Line drive plus fly ball rate is relatively static. Hard hit rate slightly down. That's on the year. You look at him over the last 5 starts, and it's really been a struggle for him. Home run every 12 at-bats. And again, you see a lot of red here across the board for Max Scherzer. He still throws the 4-seam fastball 50% of the time, but it gets crushed. And the 2 pitches that get hit the hardest are his 4-seam fastball and his changeup. That's what Max Muncy hits very well. Now, he's only come back for like 2 games. He pinch hit, I guess 2 days ago, got 1 at bat, didn't do anything. But the day before that, 3 hard hits, 2 barrels. That's a pretty good day. That's a very good day. Also hit 2 home runs in that day as well, as soon as this decides to load. So we don't have a ton of sample size for Muncy in terms of recent form. What we do know is a tool that I have been looking at more, Prop Finder. They reached out to me. I started to play around with them. They're pretty good. I like it a lot for pitch mix data. Now, it doesn't give you barrel rate per pitch mix. It just gives you the total the batted ball result. But I do think it's helpful. And what I like here is that for Scherzer, the 2 pitches that could hit the hardest, that he throws a lot. I mean, slider as well, but the 2 pitches that he throws the most, 324 ISO to left-handed hitters off the 4-seamer, 308 to the changeup. And look what 2 pitches Muncy hits really well. The 4-seam fastball and the changeup. Now, the slider he doesn't hit as well, which also gets hit hard from Scherzer. But those two is a real struggle. And Muncy has been, I mean, he's played 2 games in reality. One game was fine. He had 1 hard hit. The other one, he smoked 2. But it's one of the rare good weather games, plus 14 weather index in this one. So I like Muncy a lot. I also like Freddie Freeman, who I mentioned. Now, I should give you the odds on these 2 players. A little bit stinky, I will admit. Muncy is actually best offered on Bet365. For whatever reason, their odds didn't pull this morning. But he's at 325 at Bet365. And then Freeman, the best offer price is this one on FanDuel at plus 360. The thing with thing with Freeman is he's just been hitting really well recently. Like, you look at him over the last week, 12 hard hits, 4 barrels. That's impressive. You look at him over the last 2 weeks, 18 hard hits, 6 barrels. That's impressive. He's also the left-handed batter that is going to get the advantage over Max Scherzer. And you look at him like he didn't have a great day at the plate his last game. But before that, 1 hard hit, 1 barrel. 2 hard hits, 1 barrel. 5 hard hits, 1 barrel. 2 hard hits, no barrels, but still, 2 hard hits is fine. 2 hard hits, 1 barrel. Like, you kind of see how good of a run Freddie Freeman is on, which he needed because it had been forever since he had hit a home run prior to this stretch. And it's another one that Prop Finder really likes. You look, the same numbers for Scherzer, but Freeman, good. I mean, not as good, but good against the 4-seam fastball, good against the slider, which we know also gets hit hard. Also hits the cutter really hard, which you won't see a ton from Scherzer. But it's a good matchup. It's 2 of the highest ratings according to Prop Finder, so take that for whatever it is. But good weather game. So Muncy and Freeman, Muncy of the 3 favorites is one of the 3 favorites. Freeman is just another player on the Dodgers that I took. Next up, I'm going back to Kerry Carpenter. He came through for us, I think, twice last week, and I like him once again to hit a home run tonight. Really, really good matchup against Kyle Hendricks of the Angels. Kerry's been good. He's not an everyday player because he doesn't play against left-handed pitching, so his numbers are always going to be a little bit different. But he's recently come back from an injury, and he's been awesome. I mean, the pull rate 65%, fly ball rate 50%. Picture perfect, beautiful, exactly what you look for. 4 barrels since he has returned over the last 14 days, and you look at the last week, and you see 2 barrels and 7 hard hits. That's acceptable. Like, his percentage numbers are really good because he does that in a limited number of at-bats. And Kyle Hendricks, pitching for the Angels, he is technically, if I remember correctly, worse against righties. Yeah, home run every 18 at-bats to righties, not so much to lefties, but his numbers across the board aren't really anything to be scared of. And you look at him on the year, home run, every 38 at-bats sounds low, but the K rate is low. The barrel rate and hard hit rate are a little bit lower, but nothing that scary. The fly ball rate is high, and it's another matchup that Prop Finder likes for what it's worth. And it's good from a pitch mix perspective. The sinker gets hit hard. Kerry hits it hard. The 4-seam fastball gets hit hard. Kerry hits it hard. The curveball gets hit hard. It's green. I mean, you want that number to be higher than 200. The only pitch that doesn't get hit hard from Kyle Hendricks is the changeup, which Kerry also has really good numbers against. So there's no hiding in terms of a pitch mix perspective from Kerry Carpenter. And even though this weather, like the stadium plus weather isn't amazing at the Tigers home stadium, what I like is has a really short, the center field is deep, but the corners are shallow, especially right field. And Kerry does a really good job pulling the baseball. You see the pull rate of 55% over the last week. That's perfect for the stadium that he plays in, which is why you see him hit so many home runs at home. So Kerry Carpenter, play number 3 and the second of my 2 favorites. And then my third of the 3 favorites is Hunter Goodman to hit a home run. Kerry, I forgot to give you, he's 390 at Bet365. So again, their odds aren't pulling, but he's 390. And Hunter Goodman, the best offered price here is 430 at FanDuel. Ballpark Pal does slightly like that as a positive EV play that you can get on Hunter. The Rockies are playing at Chase Field, which I mentioned is a retractable roof, so the weather isn't going to have any impact. What I like about Hunter Goodman is we're getting a better price than we would if this game was at Coors Field. And Goodman actually hits better away. His ISO rate, 291 away, up from 210 at home. So even though he plays in the comforts of Coors Field, he actually hits for more power away, which I don't necessarily think like, oh, he's somebody that you only want to take away. I more so wanted to indicate he doesn't benefit from playing at Coors Field. He should have a good matchup against Zach Gallen, who has not been a good pitcher this year. You look at Zach Gallen on the year. Home run allowed every 22 at-bats, every 20 to righties. That's on the year. You look at him over the last 5 weeks, hasn't gotten any better. I mean, maybe, okay, it's gotten slightly better, but still nothing to be scared of. Home run allowed every 23, 24 at-bats to right-handed hitters. Everybody knows I'm not a huge batter versus pitcher guy, but I do know that he has good numbers against him this year. He's got a double and a home run against Zach Gallen. He's seen him 6 times this year already. 2 extra base hits, one of them being a home run. That's fine. Goodman has been hitting well. You look at his game log. He didn't have a great day last time at the plate, but 2 hard hits, 3 hard hits, 1 barrel, 3 hard hits, 2 barrels, hitting pretty well recently. And another good pitch mix perspective for Hunter Goodman. You look at him, the four-seam fastball, Gallen throws a lot. It's not terrible. Like 151 ISO is not bad. Hunter Goodman has okay numbers against it, but everything else, knuckle curve, he hits well, 250 ISO. Slider is what hits the hardest for Zach Gallen. He's got good numbers, 200 ISO. The cutter gets hit hard. He's got good numbers against it. I mean, you see a lot of green here. Hunter Goodman is good. And he's got a good matchup against a pitcher that he has smoked. And even though it's not the best home run conditions because Chase Field has got that deep outfield, I'm still comfortable with it. So that is play number 4 and the third of my 3 favorites. So remember, the 3 favorites were Muncy. They were Kerry Carpenter and Hunter Goodman. Next up, I'm going with Kyle Schwarber to hit a home run. A little bit stinky price here at plus 230, but we are getting him above plus 200, which you know my rule. If Schwarber is on a roll, you get him in a good matchup above plus 200. Take it. He maybe has cooled down a little bit. Like if you look at his last 2 games here, it's 0 hard hits and 1 hard hit. But prior to that, I mean, I'm not going to necessarily say 2 days is enough to cool Kyle Schwarber off. Because look at what he's done. I mean, since July 20th, it's multiple hard hits in every single game except for a couple, and like 3 hard hits, 2 barrels, 3 hard hits, 2 barrels, 1 hard hit, a barrel, 2 hard hit. I mean, it's just ridiculous the run that Kyle Schwarber is on. And Merrill Kelly is another pitcher, I mean, newly acquired from the Rangers. Another pitcher that Schwarber has had a lot of success against. You look at him, home run back in the playoffs in October. Double against him earlier this year. The double that was hit pretty decently hard. And it's another really good play from a pitch mix perspective. Now, obviously, Schwarber is amazing. He's going to have good numbers basically everywhere. But the thing I really wanted to highlight is the pitch that gets hit the hardest for Merrill Kelly. I mean, a 424 ISO is very, very not good. That's also a pitch that Schwarber is fantastic against. Hits it for a lot of power. Has a very high barrel rate against the four-seam fastball from righties as well. So even at plus 230 odds, I think Schwarber is worth taking. Like I said, when he's on a roll like this, like if you just look at league-wide and you look at barrels over the last week, Schwarber is tied with a couple batters for second. 7 batters have 5 or more. Schwarber's one of them. You look at the last 2 weeks, and he leads the MLB in total barrels with 23 hard hits. Like just fantastic numbers across the board. We'll give him another day to see if he actually is cold. Like 3 days is kind of my rule for that. So if he doesn't have a good day today, we'll be off of him for a little bit. But I still like Schwarber plus 230, totally fine price. Next up, another guy that I'm giving one more chance is Colson Montgomery to hit a home run. Now, a big thing for him is the price. You can get him at plus 650 odds at DraftKings. Let me refresh this and see if some of these odds have populated. The answer is no, but he's plus 650 at DraftKings. Even if you can't get that, you see 550 here is still considered positive expected value according to Ballpark Pal. They have his true odds at 450. So they really, really like this play on Colson Montgomery. Now, I admit he did not have a great day at the plate yesterday, but what I want to highlight here is he's going up against Tanner Bybee. Now, Bybee is not a bad pitcher, and I normally don't care a ton about home road splits unless it's like something like Coors Field, something like that, where you want to make sure that the batter just doesn't benefit from stadium or anything like that. Tanner Bybee really, really struggles away from the Guardians' home stadium. You look at his splits, and as soon as this decides to load, I'll show you. So while that's waiting to load, I will show you another good matchup according to Prop Finder from a pitch mix perspective. Colson Montgomery, you look at him, pitch mix perspective. A lot of green across the board for him. Four-seam fastball gets hit the hardest for Tanner Bybee. That's what Montgomery hits really well. The changeup, he doesn't have great numbers against. Granted, he hasn't seen a ton of them, but everything else is green. So there's no hiding from Colson Montgomery, especially the sinker, which you won't see a ton of, but he hits hard. The cutter, the sinker, the curveball, all gets hit hard, all part of Bibby's pitch mix. And you look at him, as I mentioned, away, his home run per 9 is 2. Home, it's under 1. It's a dramatic difference for him. And he struggles more against lefties, which is the other thing that I wanted to show you. So you look at him, I guess recently it's been against the righties, but you look at the entire year, which is more what I wanted to show you. Home run every 21 at-bats to left-handed hitters, every 24. So it's come down a little bit because of that recent number. It's been more equal, but the numbers in terms of his advanced stats, worse against left-handed hitters. So 650 for one more chance for Colson Montgomery. If we just look at like the home runs he's hit recently, like what's this, 5 home runs in his last 10 games? That's really, really impressive. So yes, he's gone 2 games in a row without hitting one. I'll give him one more chance, and if he doesn't come through again, then we'll be off of him. And then the last 2 plays that I have are both in the Marlins game, backing Marlins batters. I'm taking Kyle Stowers to hit a home run, and I'm taking Agustin Ramirez to hit a home run. The biggest thing we're doing here is fading Bryce Elder. Now, Elder had a good outing last time out, but you take a step back and you look at him on the year. Home run allowed every 22 at-bats on the entire year, every 22 at-bats to righties, every 22 at-bats to lefties. So there's really no difference between a righty and a lefty for him. In terms of these batters, Stowers has kind of cooled off a little bit, but what I do want to show you here is the game yesterday. He had 3 hard hits. 2 of them were above 100 miles an hour. One of them was like 99. So you see he had 3 hard hits yesterday. So maybe he's coming out of that a little bit. He had 114 miles per hour off of that, or excuse me, 110.4. Just get that a little bit up in terms of lift, and that's a home run. And then he had 100.2 and 99.6. Now the last 2 were ground outs, so nothing really doing there, but you like to see that he hit it hard. And then Agustin, he only had 1 hard hit yesterday, but it was 105 miles an hour off the bat, and he's been hitting very well recently. You look at him, 6 barrels, 22 hard hits over the last 14 days. That's really good. You look at him over the last week, 3 barrels, 10 hard hits is acceptable. Not amazing, but it is acceptable. From a pitch mix perspective, it's better for Stowers, but Agustin is hotter recently. So you kind of see why I'm going with both, basically. And we're getting a really good price, I should say. It's another situation where the best offered price is both on Bet365, but they're dramatically different from the market. So Bet365 has Stowers at $450, has Agustin at $550. Just compare that to FanDuel, who's got Agustin at $420, that's a sick number, and Stowers at $320. It's a huge difference from FanDuel and Bet365, and honestly, Bet365 in the rest of the market. So I do like finding those types of situations. But you look at Agustin, what I just want to show you is that the 2 pitches, everything gets hit hard for Bryce Elder. 4-seam fastball and slider is what Agustin hits really well. Won't see a ton of those. The slider he'll see a lot of. The 4-seamer, not so much. Granted, it gets hit really hard. But for Stowers, the pitch mix is much, much better. Slider, sinker, the 2 pitches that he's going to see the most. Fantastic numbers against both of those, but has good numbers everywhere. Any pitch that he could possibly see from Elder, he hits very, very hard. So recent form in favor of Agustin Ramirez, pitch mix in favor of Stowers, and Stowers did get those 3 hard hits yesterday. And that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Real quick to do a recap, we're going with Max Muncy, Freddie Freeman, Cal Schwarber, Kerry Carpenter, Colson Montgomery, Kyle Stowers, Agustin Ramirez, and Hunter Goodman, with my 3 favorites being Hunter Goodman, Kerry Carpenter, and Max Muncy. I appreciate everybody for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to bet responsibly. Check out the links in the description of the video. Link to Ballpark Pal, link to my Tails account, which is what I was just showing you, which is just where I send all my plays out. Bet responsibly and have a good one.